Hello, today we'll learn how to make this vest. So this vest is worked in two panels, the front panel and the back panel. Then we went on to join the shoulders and the sides so as to have our armhole and neck hole. Okay, so I'm using this unfinished project that I have here. The yarn is about 5 ply and I'm using a 6 mm hook. So grab your yarn, grab your hook, your scissors, your tape measure and your darning needle. So for this particular size I'm making, which is for a size 34, I'll be chaining 39. So your chain should be in multiples of 3, okay? So just check the bust, measure wherever you are making it for their bust size, and the chains you make should be in the multiples of 3 chains. All right, so I have 39 here. Then I'll chain 6 extra. So these 6 extra chains will serve as my first treble crochet and chain 2 space. So to make my first mesh space, I would skip 8 chains, and into the 9th chain I would be working my treble crochet. So to do my treble crochet, I will yarn over twice, go right into the 9th chain. Yes, just like that. Pull up a loop. I have 4 loops on my hook. Okay, so I will yarn over again, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. I have 2 loops on my hook now, and I yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops on my hook. So that's how to make a treble crochet. To make my next mesh, I'll chain 2 again, yarn over twice, then I'll skip 2 chains, and into the 3rd chain I'll make my treble crochet. All right, so for every chain 2 that you're making, you are skipping 2 chains. So I'll make my treble crochet. Now because we're working in 2 panels, so since I'm working for a bust size of 34, so I'll divide by 2. 34 divided by 2 is 17. So each panel that I'm making must stretch to 17 inches. All right, so that's why I'm having chain of 39. Yours can be 42, yours can be 36, yours can be 45. Just make sure that it's in multiples of 3 plus an extra 6. Okay, so I keep making my treble mesh crochet. Okay, I'll make a treble crochet, chain 2, skip 2 chains and make another treble crochet. Then I'll meet you at the last part of this row. Okay, so I'm completing my treble crochet here, and to finish the last part there, I'm just left with 3 chains. So I will chain 2, yarn over twice, then I'll skip 2 chains and go right into the last chain there to make my final treble crochet. Okay, remember for treble crochet you got yarn over twice. Now I'm done with this row. Okay, so I just want to measure to ensure that I'm on the right track. Remember I said that my first panel, each of my panel must stretch to about 17 inches. But like this tape rule I'm using here is not accurate, so I'm going to be using another tape rule. Okay, I feel this tape rule will not give me the accurate measurement that I need, so I'll change the tape rule to another one just to have an accurate measurement. I don't want a faulty work. Okay, so I'm just going to stretch out my work. The stretching will not be too much. Okay, we don't want to stretch it out excessively, but ensure that it stretches to 17. Okay, so I have 17 there, so I'm good to go. For the next row now, I'll chain 6. Okay, so our chain 6 will also serve as our first treble crochet plus chain 2. Okay, then I'll into this previous treble crochet, I'll yarn over twice and go into that next treble crochet right there. Yes, to make my next treble crochet stitch. Remember, you have to chain 2, yarn over twice, go into the next one. Now for my mesh, whenever I'm making a mesh, I like making each stitch right on top of the previous stitch. Some people might prefer to make their stitches in between their chain spaces. It also works fine, but I love making my stitches right on top of each other. I feel it gives me a more organized look. Yes, that's just what I feel. It gives me a more organized look. So keep making your mesh. So this second row, what we did in this second row will be what we will keep doing in the next rows to come. All right, so I want this particular mesh vest that I'm making to be about 15 inches in length. Okay, I want it to be about 15 inches in length. So I'm just going to measure what I have here, and I'll keep making to about 15 inches. So for this final bump here, I just keep 2 chains, and into the third chain I made my last treble crochet there. Okay, ensure that you are always chaining 2 in each of your chain spaces. All right, so here we are done with 2 rows of mesh, and I'll just keep doing that till I have 15 inches in length. Okay, you might decide to make yours longer or shorter, whatever works for you, whatever style you want it to be is flexible enough. This tutorial is flexible enough for you to do it. All right, so but for me, I just want it to be 15 inches. So I'm just going to measure and see what exactly I'm getting at, how far I have come. I think this measures to about 2.5 to 3 inches, and I'm still going to 15 inches. So yes, here I am. I've made my mesh up to my desired length. So I just want to stretch it out, not too much. Yes, so I have 15 here. So I'm just going to make a replica of this same panel again. Okay, now I'm trying to stretch out the sides also to ensure that I still have 17 inches, which is the half measurement of the bust I'm working with. And yes, it measures up to 17, so I'm good to go. No cause for alarm. Yes, so I'm making a replica of this panel again, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, now we have the 2 panels. Now for some people, after making the 2 panels, they just go right ahead to join on the side directly. But for this particular vest, we'll be making an extra row on one of the panels. Okay, so for this neck region, I'm trying to mark out where I want for my neck. So for the neck, I'm just going to leave about 7 inches in the middle and work 4 mesh spaces on each side, so that those sides will rest well on the shoulder. Okay, I want it to give me an angular look, like a rectangular look when I wear it. Okay, so I'm just going to be making a mesh that's 4 mesh box. You understand what I'm saying now? So I'm just going to make 4 mesh boxes just for that shoulder part. Yes, so this is what I'm talking about. Okay, can you see it? So I'm going to be making 2 rows of that on each side. So four boxes on both sides, leaving the middle vacant for the neck. So I'll chain 6 again and go back to complete that part of the neck region, of the neck hole rather, whichever one. Okay, so make our treble crochet. Remember to always chain 2. And on the last one there, I'm going to work my last treble crochet right into the 3rd chain there for that last part. Okay, and I'm just going to cut off my yarn there because I don't need that side again. Ensure you cut something that is long enough because we want to use it to join when we are done. Okay, ensure it's long enough but not too long, so that your work won't look somehow funny. So after doing that for that side, I'm going to do it for the other side. So now, do you see what I'm talking about? So now we have that angular look that I'm looking for. Yeah, and that's just that. Now we're going to also do an extra row for the side. Now before we do an extra row for the side, we want to mark out our armhole. So for this mesh vest, because it's a mesh vest and I want it to be free, I'll make sure my armhole is about 9 inches. Yes, my armhole is about 9 inches for the measurement. So after marking out 9 inches, yeah, I folded that part, because I folded that neck region because that's how it's going to sit on the body. So I'm just going to mark out 9 inches out. Okay, yes, that's the 9 inches. Yeah, so that'll be our armhole, and I'm going to attach my hook and attach my yarn. Okay, just to make one extra row downwards. I don't know why I just like doing that. I feel it gives my work a particular shape that I'm always after. So I'll make one extra row downwards. So I chain 6, just like how we have been doing the previous mesh rows, and right into the next space, just like that, into the next stitch there, I make my treble crochet. I chain 2, yarn over twice, make your next treble crochet. Okay, then that's just what we're going to do, just downwards like that. Okay, now this down part is for after your armhole, from just below your armhole down to the end of the vest. That is what this part is for. Okay, so whatever we are doing on one part of that panel is also the same thing we're going to do on the other side of the same panel. Okay, but it's only this panel that I'm working on, that we're going to work on. The second panel that is lying fallow now that you're seeing in this video, I won't be making anything on that. Okay, I'm just going to be using this panel as a base for the shape I'm looking for. All right, okay, yeah, so I'm there now at the final stitch, and I'm just going to cut off my yarn at that part also. Okay, so this is what you should have, something like that. And the same thing I did on this side, I'm also going to do on the other side also. So I'm just going to reattach my yarn and make an extra row of treble crochet mesh down. And ensure that before you cut off your yarn, that you have yarn that is long enough to join to the other panel. Okay, because we don't want to keep having excess yarn lying around on our projects. I feel it looks messy, and you might just get confused and stressed out along the way. Yeah, so yeah, here we are done with the sides that we need. So I'm just going to chain 1 and cut off my yarn there. Ensure that you have something that's long enough for you to join together. All right, so get your darning needle ready, because I'm going to be using it to join. Now for the joining, yes, for the joining now, which is the most crucial part, you have to lie your work flat, lay it flat just like that on the surface, and ensure that the joining that you are making aligns together. Okay, ensure that each chain 2 space aligns with the other chain 2 space. Each treble crochet aligns with the other treble crochet. We want our work to be seamless as much as possible. So you just join the normal way you use your needle and thread to join. So you just join the side, the size that you want to join. So for this part now, we are joining the shoulder part now. That is the extra 4 boxes that we did at the top corners. So we just want to join it to the other panel. Ensure it's as neat as possible. Don't rush yourself. Give yourself enough time to attach it, because we want our work to come out nice and clean. All right, so join that just like that. We all have different ways of joining. So it's not a must you actually use my style. You could just come up with your own idea of joining, but ensure that it is secure enough, because we don't want a situation whereby you wear it and as you are and during the day the thing just pulls off. We don't want anything like that. So we join both sides together, and then yes, we have something like this on both sides. So our neck hole is ready like that. Perfect fit is ready just like that. So I'm just going to cut off excess yarns away from that part. Okay, and then we will move on to work on the sides. Yes, we want to join the two sides together. So the same way you join the top part is the same way you join the sides. Ensure that everything is in alignment. We don't want one row jumping over the other row. Okay, so join them just like I've done here in this video. Okay, so I've joined the sides and remain the other side now, the final side for joining. Then after joining it, I'll show you what exactly your project is supposed to be like. Okay. All right, just keep joining. Ensure you use the same joining process, because we don't want our work to look rough and untidy. Yeah, so I'm done with joining. I'm just going to cut off the excess yarns that I have. Ensure you tuck them in well before cutting off. So yes, our mesh vest is ready. We have our neck hole and our armhole all perfect and set. Yeah, so this is just how to make your mesh vest.